let's talk about Fred Warner, because you've been harping on this all year. Everyone's been talking about how he hasn't been playing his best. It was alarming to watch in this game. Now, his instincts in coverage are gone, which made me think, did you ever have instincts, or was Robert Saleh in your ear before the snap saying ball's going here, ball's going there, ball's going here? Because now it's like he just covers grass and the middle of the field's wide open. And more alarmingly, there was one play a couple of times in this game where it was like 3rd and 1, and the Niners defense was trying to, remember, like all of a sudden they'll like compress their D-line real close, and then everyone tries to get around. They show a different front, and they're trying to, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Remember that? They did it twice. They showed this front twice. The first time, Fred Warner didn't know where to line up. And Aziz is like, dude, you're over there.
I saw that.
And Tark's like,
I saw that, and I said to my father, I was like, "Ooh, look at Aziz Al-Shaair laying down the law with Fred Warner."
Yeah, and Tark
I don't read too far into that on its own.
Where the hell are you?
Yeah.
And it was confirmed because they did the same thing later in the game, and that time Fred Warner was actually in the right spot. To me, it was like, man, how many times this year have you missed assignments? How are you missing assignments? They give you a $95 million contract. You never did this kind of stuff in the past. What? I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Where did this come from? I don't get it. I don't know how I can't even begin to explain it.
I remember he got injured at a certain point, like in the latter third of the year. I'm assuming he recovered from that, but it seems like from that point forward, I started saying things like, that touchdown went right through Fred Warner. And I'm not going to read into that because he's still good. You get beaten sometimes. You know, Richard Sherman at the height of his career, he got beaten. But it started to happen with more alarming frequency, as you said. I agree with that.
Missing assignments that's like really
that's setting himself up for
captain.
failure, and that is surprising. It's almost like he's disfocused by the end of the year, and I don't know if that's true. I don't want to like read into his brain, basically. I know I'm mostly hard on his body and his lack of strength. And I've always said that what he makes up for that is speed and instinct and sideline-to-sideline coverage, which was not very present, shall we say, in the championship game.
Well, I mean,
something to watch going forward. I'm not against his coverage abilities yet, but being out of place in the championship game is called choking, and there's no excuse for the captain of a defense to do that.
Yeah, you got to have Tart and Al-Shaair trying to direct traffic for you. You're the middle line. You called the play. You literally called the
play. I have to say, good job as the safety. That is your job. You have the best seats in the house, and that's Tart's position. It's not Ward's position. It's definitely Tart's position to be that last line of defense, not just physically against plays, but mentally as well. It was a really good notice by him, and also great job by Aziz Al-Shaair. I was really happy to see that. I'll be honest with you, between him and Greenlaw and the fact that we have Flanagan Fowles and just we are LBU, as I always say, Fred Warner is going to have to play to the max of his contract, or there actually is no reason to have him. Yeah, so we need him to play like Fred Warner, or we can cut baits with him for a draft pick and save some cap space and not have a big drop-off, and certainly have people who follow their assignments. But again, the smartest guy on the field will miss an assignment once in a while. It just stinks when it happens in the championship game, and it opens up conversations as to how good you really are.
Well, I mean, the only thing about it is like he had a good year against the run. I thought the Niners' run defense was really good the second half of the year, and he had 137 tackles in 16 games, which is a career high. It was the coverage. The quarterback rating he gave up was like 111, and then just like the stats, 4 pass breakups, no picks. I mean, that's career lows in both. The year before he had 6 pass breakups and 2 picks. The year before he had 9 pass breakups and a pick. Like he was all over the place in coverage, and people say, oh, you know, he could cover wide receivers, he could cover Hollywood Brown. Now he's just like any other linebacker, which is to me alarming because they're paying him to be super special. And this year his cap number was only 3.6. That's nothing. Next year, $8 million. That's expensive. But 2023, 18. 2024, 22. 2025, $24.4 million cap.
They're going to have to restructure that.
Yes, because you can't trade that if this is how he's going to play. I mean, forget trading. No one wants that. That contract.
You're going to have to cut him at that point.
So I'm not saying cut Fred Warner. I'm just saying dude needs to really step
up. No, but if he plays like this on a $22 million contract, you have to cut him.
Well, yeah. So, and that's he's not going to get to $22 million for like 3 years. Next year he's at 8. So he can definitely be worth $8 million, but he needs to do more in coverage, and he needs to know his assignments. You called the play, Fred. How does everyone else know? I'm just saying.
Yeah, he has the green dot.
Fred. These are things I didn't see from Fred in the past. I watched a lot of film the last few years, and he was always above reproach. It was weird to see. Anyway, Justin says,
Yeah,
"What's the best?"
I think we really need
Oh,
to see what he does next year. We need to see what he does with his offseason. Fred Warner needs to put himself in a better position by getting in the damn weight room and lifting. And if he can do that, I really think that Fred Warner will get his swagger, his stride, his confidence. Fred Warner with 15 more pounds on his body, then he's a beast.
See, to me, I'm not even worried about his physique or his hitting or his physicality. It's the coverage. Like, what happened?
Well, I know, because he doesn't have a physique or physicality. What he has is coverage, and he's supposed to be the best.
He's supposed to. He was a DB in college,
at
man.
one point, the only non-defensive back in the top 5 pass defenders in football.
That's what I'm saying. What happened?
And that's why where people like me who critique his physicality, you got to say, that's okay because we have the best pass defender in football.
Right. So I'm not even. Look, the physicality is coming from Azeez Al-Shaair. Where is the coverage? That's what they're paying you for. They don't pay linebackers to hit. You pay them for that unique ability to cover, and all of a sudden, it was gone this year. And it was evident in the NFC Championship game. I'd like to see it come back because it's in him. I mean, it's in him. We've seen it. Unless like Robert Saleh really could anticipate everything. I just don't believe that. There's no way. There's no way.
It's something that they address in practice. We would really have to see in the first quarter of the season, this upcoming season, what he does.